Okay. In the last few parts, we were covering the basic theology. Now let's get into the basic theology and teachings. Now let's go ahead and get into the actual practices before we start getting into some other really complicated stuff. Well, once again, continuing in our thread with Christianity versus Islam. How do Christians interpret their holy book? Well, there isn't really a good answer for that. Christians are a really diverse group. The proper way to interpret the Bible ranges from anything from what the current Pope says to resolutions of priests to entirely philosophically and metaphorically. This is why we have so many different translations of the same verse of the Bible. There's actually a good site for that. I'm going to put in the link on this video. It's a good Bible study site for those of you who want to see it. It's a place where you can go and pull up verses of the Christian Bible and all the different English translations and see how the phrasing of a verse changes from translation to translation. It's an interesting little thing to look at if you're going to study the Bible and interpret it literally. Because some key verses kind of do this from book to book to book. As far as in Islam, it's learned scholars in various countries. There is no single spokesperson. This has to do with, going on a jihad, quest for enlightenment, and the pursuit of knowledge. And that fully understanding this book, the Qur'an, is the equivalent of obtaining 4 or 5 doctorates. And they should teach each other. People who are more learned should help people who are less, and so on and so forth. Actually, that's directly related to the 5 pillars of Islam, which we will be getting into in another part. So let's look at, where do Christians and Muslims go? Continuing with their theme of, just how different are these two groups? Well, Christians believe in going to a church or cathedral. With the exceptions of Lutherans, who believe that while it's important to go to church, it's not necessary in any way, shape, or form, because it's not the house of God. Muslims, well, they got a different word for it. It's called a mosque. Not sure there's anything wrong with that. What's the old phrase, a rose by any other name? Now let's get into, okay, what's the holy day? What's the day of worship? Well, we have 3 to choose from. Depending on which Christianity you follow, the holy day is either Sunday, or in the case of things like Jehovah's Witnesses, the Sabbath is Saturday. I don't have a 6,000-year-old calendar. I'm not qualified to say which day was the 7th. People believe what they believe. Doesn't really make a difference. At least not to me. But wars have been fought over less. So maybe that's why Islam's so evil. Because they picked a different day. For them it's Friday. Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but for a good portion of my life, my week ended on Friday. So it seems in line with the logic.